Recording in progress.
This is Angel Talk Podcast with Brenda Hardwick. This is the March 2025 edition, and I'm a few days late. But the end of March was eventful, and I was out of town for a few days. It was supposed to be fun, but really wasn't. Our topic for this month is you first, then everybody else. This topic comes from something my angels have been telling me since January. In dealing with this cancer that came back and what it has meant for me on this journey. My angels and guides were very pushy about you first, me first, and then everybody else. And most women will understand and know that that's a hard lesson to learn, because we are taught and raised to take care of everybody else first and then take care of us. That's not the way it should be. You should take care of yourself first, because just like they tell you when you're on an airplane, put your mask on first and then put on the child's mask or someone else's, because if you go unconscious, you can't help anybody. And the people you need to help typically can't do it themselves. So you first. This was a hard lesson for me, but it was a good lesson. And so I have been heeding it with much relish. I took a trip to Lisbon to see the cherry blossoms, and they weren't there because we got 2 weeks of rain and it was cold, so the trees didn't bloom. There was one small patch, so we did get to take a few pictures with the cherry blossoms, but the trip wasn't the revelation and the beautiful sweet smell that we were all looking for. It was still okay. I went with a couple of girlfriends, and we learned that, one, we could travel together and tolerate each other. And there were some other lessons in that, but we had some good takeaways from it. And the you first and then everybody else was an important lesson for all of us, for all three of us. Think about those words, you first, then everybody else. What does that mean for you in your life? And it doesn't matter what your life is about, who's in your life, whether you're male or female, whether you are of one political party or another, whether you are of one belief system or another. You first and then everybody else only makes sense. It just does. If you can't be all you can be and everything you need to be for yourself, then how can you do for others? In all sincerity, it is difficult to do for others and be fully giving and fully feeling that what you're doing is worthy and worth it, and that you are worthy and worth it, if you haven't taken care of yourself first. I don't know how many people I hear talk about how they have done so much for others, and now they're just tired. And they're not tired in a good way. It's tired in a exhausted way. They have trouble even answering questions about what's good for themselves. If you've lost yourself in the caring for others, how can you care for others in all sincerity, in all love, if you have not been loving on yourself? How can you take care of you and someone else? Because that's what you have to do. You can't just take care of someone else. And most of us, we're taking care of more than someone else. Take me, for instance. Okay, I live here with my son and his husband and my twin granddaughters. I still have clients that I see. So I'm taking care of the girls. I help with things around the house. So I help my son-in-law, and I'm paying attention to finances because I'm contributing to the household in every way that I can. But what I've learned through this ordeal with this cancer this time is that I do have to take care of me first. If I don't feel like getting up and moving and I don't have to, then I don't. If I'm supposed to be somewhere, but I don't want to be somewhere, I don't want to go, I don't want to visit with the people or go to the event or go to the class. If I don't want to, I don't. And that's not something I did before. You know, when I was working, I went to everything and every event and every class that was offered, that was given, because I felt obligated to be there. Was I obligated to be there? No. I just felt that way. So what do those words mean for you? You first, then everybody else. For me here, it means when I want to go somewhere or when I want to do something, I let the kids know before I put it on the calendar. And then if I change my mind, I let them know. I'm not going to go. I changed my mind. I choose when I'm available and when I'm not, rather than letting circumstances dictate when I'm available and when I'm not. Chemotherapy is hard. It's hard on your body. It's hard on your mind. It's a lot to face and accept. And even though the treatments I had were only 4, and I've seen people that have 10 times that number of treatments, and my heart goes out to them because 4 kicked my butt. It just did. Losing my hair, that was not easy. Feeling not good all the time. And one day it was this kind of not good, and the next day it was that kind of not good. So it wasn't all the same. Every day was a different set of discomfort. And now that my body is purging all of those chemicals and all of those drugs, I'm still low on stamina. I'm still slow to get up. I still, I used to be a night owl, and I'd, write and get on the computer until midnight, 1 and 2 in the morning, and I can't do that anymore. Do I still wake up early? Most days, yeah. I wake up at 5 or 6. Sometimes it's 7 or 8. Sometimes I wake up at 5 and go back to sleep until 7 or 8. It depends on how I feel. Me first, and then everybody else. I've noticed some things that are different that I'm going to have to get used to, because I know that even when my system clears all the drugs, I'm going to be left with some differences. Probably won't have to dye the hair anymore because, it's coming back all gray, except for just a couple of little spots. Well, that'll save me some money. Not sure what my taste is going to be like, because it's not what it's supposed to be. That's okay. I dealt with that the first time, so I don't expect it to be much different this time. There are some days when I just don't want to do anything. And my angels are cool with it. If I tell them, do I need to go do something? Do I have to go do that? I get a good solid answer. And then it's up to me to make the decision. Most of the time is, you don't have to do anything unless you want to. That's a blessing. You don't have to do anything unless you want to. Me first, and then everybody else. We are living in some rough times right now, and it doesn't matter where you're standing on the field. It's uncomfortable. It's not a happy place. Change is happening on a daily basis, and none of it feels good. Most change is difficult to deal with, and we are all dealing with so much of it right now that the discomfort is palpable. But you know what? The sun will come up tomorrow, and we will go on. You decide. You first, and then everybody else. If you take care of you, everything else will kind of fall in line. The stuff that you really don't have to worry about, or really isn't your responsibility, will get taken care of. Or maybe it'll just fall away into nothing because it wasn't your job in the first place. There's a lot of that. It's not your job. Especially when it's stuff that has to deal with other people. You first, and then everybody else. One of the things I plan to do with my podcast this year, and it's going to be the latter half of the year, I'm going to have some guest speakers on. I'm really looking forward to it. The angels have not given me the subjects past May. I've got May's. No, I've got April's, but May and June's I don't have yet. But starting with July's, I'm going to have a guest speaker with me. That should be interesting. Don't know what it's going to look like. I think it'll be fun. And I think it'll be interesting for you to hear a different perspective on angels and guides and what they can help you with and what they can do for you if you allow them. because they are most certainly present. Even if you're not sure they are, they're there. Even if you don't believe they are, they're there. It's wonderful when they step in, especially when it's one of those nick of time things. They have been with me for this whole ride. They have eased things when I've needed them to. Could they make it all go away? Well, I suppose they could have, but then I wouldn't have learned the lessons I needed to learn from it. I wouldn't have been given the opportunity to let go of the post-traumatic stress that I was carrying around from the first time I went through cancer. I didn't even realize that's what it was, but it was. I am taking that me first and then everybody else seriously. This year, we're getting our garden in on time. I've planted tomatoes, beans. Not everything's up yet, but it's coming. I'm going to work on the herbs next. Probably not tomorrow because it's going to be rainy, but the next day. See if I can get a crop of some useful herbs and make some tinctures. See if I can get enough tomatoes to make a homegrown caprese salad. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. See if I can get some okra to grow and put it with this seafood that was caught in the morning and sold in the afternoon and make some gumbo. Yeah, these are things that I want to do for me. Me first, and then everybody else. I'm taking it one day at a time because any more than that seems overwhelming. So one day at a time. And I'm okay with that. I'm at a point where I don't have to plan weeks in advance. So I'm fortunate. I'm very blessed in that. But even if I did have to plan things that far out, there's always the opportunity to change your mind. If you don't want to, if you don't have to, if it's not in your best interests, if it's not for your highest and best good, then maybe you don't have to do it. Maybe you don't need to do it. Maybe somebody else has that job and you're doing it for them. That's nice, but we typically don't get paid for shit like that when you're doing somebody else's job. You first, and then everybody else. Think about it. Apply it to your life. Apply it to your days. Do it one day at a time. Do it 1 week at a time. Do you plan out your week, or do you plan out your month? You know, April Fool's Day, even here in Portugal, the girls came home talking about April Fools. So we are more alike, us humans, no matter where we live, than we will ever know or understand. You first, and then everybody else. It can change your perspective. It can change how you feel. It can change what you feel is important and what isn't. It is amazing to me how often I hear people just walking in the grocery store or the department store complaining about the other people in their lives, how their beliefs don't align, how they don't think the same, how they don't love the same, how they don't understand where they're coming from. You know, if you put yourself first, it's not selfish. It's a good thing. If you put yourself first, maybe you wouldn't be in the situations that make it so difficult to deal with other people. If you listen to that inner voice, that inner child that doesn't want it, just listen once. See what happens. You first, and then everybody else. I've been practicing this now for 5 months. I started in November after the surgery. Me first, then everybody else. And I didn't do a good job of it at first. In November and December, I really didn't do a good job of it. I did not set a New Year's resolution to do it. I just decided to do it. Me first and everyone else. Me first. I kind of like it. It kind of keeps me out of trouble. I don't volunteer for things that I don't want to do. I don't say yes when my answer should be no. I don't say okay when it's not okay. And I learned that sometimes it is okay to not be okay. Talk with your angels. Ask for their help. I've done that. Me first, and then everyone else. That's not an easy concept. And I needed help in the beginning. Sometimes it was as simple as, am I supposed to do this? Do I need to do that? Do I have to do this? Most of the time the answer was no, you don't. That threw it right back in my lap to decide whether I was going to or not. I didn't say it was easy, but they're all there to help when I need it. I knew I was going to be late with this podcast because I was going out of town, because I had to get my taxes done before I did that. And I asked, is it okay if I'm late? They said, yeah, because you first, you need to rest. I should have done the podcast the night I finished my taxes. and I didn't finish my taxes until late. Me first, and then everybody else. Thank you for joining me for my March episode of the Angel Talk with Brenda Hardwick. I look forward to seeing you next month. Well, the end of April. The 4th Wednesday in April. Enjoy the holidays if you celebrate them, however you celebrate them. And the episode for April is going to be spring, new growth, life, and you. So that's new growth, new life, new you. Spring is about renewal. We'll see what the angels have to say about it next month. Well, actually, it's this month. Yeah, because it's already April. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.